And it's time for the next matchup in the second round of the AF Lager Championship. But let's not look at the table yet. Reason being, I want to talk about one of the beers in it. This one. So this is the Klaus Dry Hopped. I'm going to open one. So the reason I'm opening this is because I'm just going to drink it now. Klaus Dry Hopped is very, very different than any other lager in the championship. So much so yeah, man, I think I'm still agreeing with myself. So much so that I'm not going to allow it in. As you know, in the last round, it beat the Estrella Galicia, basically because it was very different. It had real pale ale kind of characters to it. It was very dark in colour. And just so different from anything else in the championship that it would be weird, it'd be very hard to compare anything against it. And drinking now out of the bottle, it just tastes a bit too different for the purposes. This championship is not necessarily to find the best lager in the supermarket. It's about, for those kind of alcohol-free lagers that are like a lager you would just buy normally, which ones are better? Which ones are the better ones? And that's really the whole point of it. And if we can crown one the best of all, brilliant. I'm thinking the Klausthal, although it's incredibly nice and I'm really enjoying this, it's a little too different. It's a little too different from all the other beers in it for it to have a fair shot and for the other beers to have a fair shot. So I actually came to this conclusion as I was drinking one of the old Estrella Galicias. So the old Estrella Galicias, I had 2 bottles of that because I had a 4-pack and it got knocked out in the first round. And to be honest, after I drank 2 bottles of it and I really enjoyed them. I thought they were quite nice. And I thought, really, does this deserve to be out at such an early stage? And I thought, possibly not, no. But it was up against this, which is, again, very, very different. Very different from any of the other lagers. So because it's so different, although I might do another review of this sometime, or I might put it up maybe against the winner or something, this is not going to be eligible anymore. I'm going to take it out, and there you go. It's a shame. I didn't really want to. I wanted to see how this would do, but again, I'd always know which one was which out of this and another lager, and really, what can I say? It just tastes so different. I could probably call it now and say, which ones it would beat, which ones it wouldn't beat. I don't think it would win, but I think it would just end up knocking out beers that possibly might have got a little bit further. They might end up losing to a beer that I just think is a bit more, sort of pale lagery, really, and a bit more appropriate. So, Klausthal Dry Hopped is a really nice beer, a really good alcohol-free beer, but is not going to stay in the championship. So, that said, now we can look at the table. So here we got the table, the full table, isn't it? And if you look, there's been some changes on the table. What I've decided to do is I've decided to redraw the table as if the Klausthal never existed or never was in it. So the Estrella Galicia now is going to be up against the Madri at the beginning, and the Asahi has gone back into its place at the bottom of the table, where it's going to face off against the Staropramen. If you remember, in the last matchup, we had the Lucky Saint losing to the Estrella. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens today with the next matchup, which is these 2 beers. We've got the Becks Blue, a very, very common, very popular alcohol-free beer. And that is going to be up against a less popular, well, not popular, less easy to get hold of one, and that's the Warsteiner 0.0%. This was available in booths, and it's always available in booths. So I'm going to keep it in. Basically, booths is a supermarket. Yeah, they're only available kind of like up north, but it is still a supermarket, and it sells Warsteiner alcohol free. There may be other places where you can get Warsteiner alcohol free, so I'm going to keep this in. And the Becks Blue, really available anywhere, as you probably know. So let's have a little look at the sugar content, as we always do. And this one has got 1.6 grams of sugar per 100 ml. So, you know, in a can like this, it'd be quite a lot. But still 1.6 grams per 100 is the thing we're looking at. Whereas the Becks Blue has got 0.7 grams per 100. So half as much sugar in this as this. But it's not about that, it's about how it tastes. So let's get these poured into glasses and let's get the taste test underway. Okay, beer's poured. And much better head retention on this one than this one. But before we do anything else, let's just tell you which one's which. So this is which one is which. Okay, that was which one was which. Let's get into these now. So we're going to have a look at the colour first of all. So let's have a little look at them. Hold them up to the light. They're both very similar. Quite a pale straw colour. This, you know, I'd say this was a little bit more pale straw than this one, but to be honest, looking through the light, they are very similar. Yeah, this one is definitely very pale straw. That one has got a hint of amber in it, but just a hint. Let's get swilling and see if the head comes back. Yeah, getting a bit of the head back there. Let's get a smell on it. Oh. So something quite savoury on the nose. I'd say something quite savoury. I don't know what it is, but it smells quite Pilsner-esque on the nose, but like an alcohol-free Pilsner, not a proper Pilsner. With this weird savouriness on it. I haven't got my water, hang on. It's just down here. Just getting it out of shot on the floor. There we go, now we've got the water. Let's have a bit more of a nose on this one before we try the other. So we get a little bit of lemon. Some sharpness coming through the nose there, and a little bit of savouriness. Not bad nose really. It does smell alcohol free, I think, but you know, it's something that's hard for these beers not to smell alcohol free. Let's have a see what this one's like. So quite a bit of maltiness on the nose there. A little bit of dankness. Got quite a lot of maltiness, but not a syrupy sweet maltiness, more of a brown bread. Kind of maltiness. It smells quite nice though, actually. A bit like the Madry maltiness, but a little bit more of it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, smells alright. That smells quite malty. There's not really much else in it. It's just a lot of kind of wheat and bread and stuff like that. In the nose, I'm not getting much fruit on the nose there. And a little bit of dankness. Okay, let's get swilling out. Get rid of the taste of that Klausthaler. Right, I'm going to try this one first. Cheers. So that's got a nice dry bite. A little bit of bitterness. Not a huge amount else. Let's try again. Yeah, it's dry, it's a bit bitter, but it's empty. That's what I'd say about that. There's not much flavour in the middle. Get a little bit of waferness, a little bit of wafer notes. Certainly on the aftertaste, but that's about it. It's drinkable, it's refreshing. I like the dryness, I like the nice bit of bitterness it's got. It's not bad, but there's not a lot of flavour. Okay, let's have to see if this one's any better. Cheers. So that's got a decent amount of maltiness in the flavour. It's got a little bit of bitterness. It's possibly a little bit sweet for what I like. Really, it's not great by any means. It's not bad. It's very drinkable. It's very smooth. It's smooth, it's drinkable. It's got a little bit of gentle sweetness to it. Possibly a little bit more than a bit. Another one, you can tell it's alcohol free. I'd say with this one though, if it wasn't quite so sweet, it would taste really good. It has got a nice maltiness. Getting a bit of an aftertaste there as well, getting a little bit of a biscuity aftertaste. It's a little bit on the sweet side for me. But I'd say that's pretty good. That one is okay. That one's pretty good. Really, there's not much else to say. I'll have another go around. If you like a nice whack of bitterness, you like something nice and dry, and not sweet at all, that's your guy. That's your guy. Really, it really is. But it is very Pilsner-esque. It's almost like a Pilsner with quite a bit of bitterness and loads of dryness, but not much flavour. Which I'd say, kind of like Becks. But bizarrely enough, last weekend I had a Becks, and I was impressed. I had a proper, not an alcohol-free Becks, but a normal Becks. And I was actually impressed. It tasted really good, which is interesting. I've not had Becks for a long time, but I was quite impressed with the bottle of Becks I had last week. Anyway, so I'm assuming this is the Becks, just because it tastes so different and it's very dry, and it tastes a bit like Becks as well. This is like Becks without any of that flavour in the middle, because Becks does have a bit of flavour, I think, in the middle, and this is basically like Becks with a lot of flavour taken out. So if that's your bag, then there you go. This one, it's a shame. It's a little bit too sweet, but it's tasty, and I really like how smooth it is. It's not, too fizzy or anything. It's lovely and smooth. It's really refreshing, just a little bit sweet. So, guessing that one's the Warsteiner. That one's definitely winning. It has got a nice aftertaste. That's the Becks, but I'll find out in a minute, and I will be right back. And I'm back. And okay, so yes, Becks, Warsteiner. Yeah, what can I say? Becks, Warsteiner. I thought it was that way around. Yeah, the Becks, it's a bit soulless, I think is the best way of putting it. It's almost like Pilsner by numbers. It's, it's almost like somebody, I read a description of Pilsner and then just kind of, I don't know what I'm talking about, to be honest. And then just put those flavours into a drink without actually brewing it or anything. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Becks Blue. It always has done as well. I've had it before. It just feels a little bit hollow. I do like the bitterness. I do like the dryness. It is nice and refreshing, but there's just something missing. Something missing in the middle. This one has got plenty in the middle, but it's a bit too sweet. Here's a thought. I do this sometimes. And I end up with really good results. So let's take some of the Warsteiner and whack some of the Becks in it. So give it a bit of extra bitterness and maybe take away some of that sweetness. What do we reckon? Do we think it'd be nice? Let's have a see. So I've done this with a few things. I can't remember now. I've done with some of the alcohol-free beers. When I've finished the review, I've mixed them together. And usually when I mix them together, it's actually better than both of them. Not bad. Let's add a bit more of this. Interesting. It's all right. I wouldn't say it's better than both of them. Let's just whack that in there. So, before I finish, let's bring back the Klausthaler. Let's whack this in here. Now, obviously, we've got the amalgamation bit. I mean, look at that. That's not... I know that colour just puts me off. I mean, it don't really puts me off in a bad way. It just... it's really hard for me to review a lager that looks like that against... Because it looks like muddy pond water, basically, against lagers that look like lager. And this just tastes weird. Almost like a hoppy alcopop. It's weird. Yeah, I'm still agreeing on my decision about the Klausthaler. It's weird. Klausthaler looks really light in the bottle. And then when you pour it into a glass, it's got a kind of a muddy pond water kind of colour to it. It's strange. But anyway, what am I doing? I'm all over the place here. So there you go. Bye-bye, Klausthaler. Yeah, so Klausthaler breaks my heart to take it out of the championship, but it shouldn't really be there. Let's try this mixture. I think I prefer the Warsteiner to the mixture, to be honest. So there you go. That doesn't usually happen, but it did this time. There you go. Warsteiner is through to the next round. Becks, I thought it might put up a better fight than that, but it's just hollow in the middle. That's all there is to it. Been quite a long one today. Hopefully you've not fallen asleep yet. Till next time, have a good one.